Welcome everybody back to your Saluki radio preview of the Indiana State Sycamores. Finally back at Saluki Stadium after almost a month off from Saluki Stadium. Football team's not been off the last month. What a remarkable run the Saluki football team has been on. And let's take a look at their opponent on Saturday. Mike Trude on Saturday night. Indiana State, they come in. Sycamores have lost their last two games at Montana, at Indiana. But as Coach Hill said this week, there are a lot of teams with that schedule that would have the exact same record that the Sycamores do here coming in this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to Montana is no easy task, and IU, it's a Big Ten opponent, and both teams ran it up on the Sycamores. But I don't think it's an indicator of what they're capable of doing once league play starts. They played two very decent games, their first two games, and won both of those games. They're not a team that generally is going to beat themselves. They will run the football. They will attack you on defense. And I think Southern knows from a year ago when you play Indiana State, no lead is safe, and they're never going to give up.
You look at the last 11 matchups. Indiana State's actually won 6 of them, Coach Poor, 6-5. You look at this overall series, SAU only has the edge by 2 games, 31-29. Regardless of the history of it, this has always been a back-and-forth series, almost right down the middle, 50-50.
Yeah, been in a bunch of them, and Mike used the word capable. They're always capable. They're always well prepared, and they got good players. And it was, they were always games where, like Mike talked about, we'd get up, they'd fight scratch, stay in it, make a play, and you always had to finish at that right time to get a win against them.
Let's get into some of their players, and we'll start on the offensive side of the football. Elijah Owens, he hurt his collarbone against Eastern Illinois. He has missed the recent weeks in the season. Keegan Patterson has stepped in, and, man, talk about 2 tough starts for him right away, having to go on the road to Indiana and Montana. But as Coach Mallory told us this week, he really believes he is improving with each and every game.
Yeah, and I think the bye week helped that immensely. Seemed like everybody in the Valley had a bye week except for 2 or 3 teams, and that was a time for Keegan to be able to grow a little bit more, get a lot more reps than he was getting, because as the number 2, yes, you get reps, but not the meaningful ones. And I think that extra week of practice, getting ready for this game, I know he wants to improve his passing percentage and those types of things. But again, he's a guy who can run the offense, and I think that they have a lot of confidence in him.
Osho and Lawrence are 2 really good running backs, and you've been impressed with what Daryl Funk has done in really revamping that Indiana State offensive line.
Yeah, Daryl Funk, long-time offensive line coach, been a bunch of places, and they've always been built kind of the same at Indiana State. They'll have a big old rascal at left tackle, and good-looking guys up front. And Coach Mallory's always been hey, run the darn ball, establish that. And the thing with the quarterback too is he's a tough kid, because you watch that Montana game. He got smoked in the back of the head a couple times, and he just kept getting up and coming back. So you're gonna get their best shot.
Well, you look at some of their skill. They've always had really good skill throughout the years. Rochelle is another one, very quick at wideout. Drawdy is another name that's really starting to come on a bit. There are weapons there on that Indiana State offense.
Yeah, and they always seem to have a tight end and most teams do have a tight end that finds those gaps and gets open. Rochelle has 3 or 4 touchdown receptions. It's interesting, they have 7 rushing touchdowns and 7 passing touchdowns this year. So obviously they're splitting it up pretty well. But again, I hate to keep using the word capable, but they're a team that if you take them lightly whatsoever, and I don't believe Southern will do that, they are a team that can hurt you because they like to control the ball. They want to run the ball, control the game, and keep their offense on and keep the opponent's offense off the field.
Again, when you look at the scores, those scores can make you think that they struggled defensively. But Coach Poor, this is a group where they have some playmakers on that side of the football, and they can play with a ton of physicality. What stands out about Coach Elson and his defense?
Well, I was impressed with the 2 edge guys, the 2 DNs. They play a 4-man front. Most of the time, 2 bigs, hand in the ground, outside guys, standing up. And then you mix that in with, they've always had really good linebacker play. They've always had one stud that, could run to the ball and get you on the ground. And then I was impressed with their safety play too. I think he's their leading tackler. And the combination of that front seven, those three linebackers, the four dudes up front, and those two safeties make them an aggressive defense. And Coach Elson's always been a guy, talked about it earlier. He's not scared to walk seven of them up there and stand them on the line of scrimmage and go, hey, what are you going to do?
And obviously last year, Mike, the Salukis got off to such a great start, 17-0. They were held scoreless in that second half. No doubt that is on the mind of a lot of these guys that are out here on this field. They want to try to get a better taste in their mouth and start off league play in the right fashion.
I know when I interviewed Fenske earlier this week, I brought up the fact that this is a game where, you think you're going to go in there and win the game, and then you're up 17-0 at halftime, and everything's rolling along as it should be. Then all of a sudden, one bad play or one unfortunate play happens, and then Indiana State just started rolling a year ago. So I think this team, not that they don't mark games on the calendar, but, wants to get a little bit back against Indiana State. You'd never want to blow a game that you're leading 17-0 at halftime.
No, and it should be a fun one on Saturday night. 6 o'clock will be kick here at Saluki Stadium. Again, we hope you join us. It's going to be a beautiful night for football. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you still got time. We want to see you here to pack out here on Family Weekend here in Carbondale, Illinois. For Coach Pat Poore, for Mike Trude, I am Luke Martin. We will talk to you all Saturday night. Saluki Nation, go Dogs.